2025, 2026, what's next for the housing market in Florida? I think we're still going to be in recovery mode. We've had a 5-year, maybe 6-year, little roller coaster thing. Builders have slowed down on building. I think they got to the point where they were building so much that they kind of overbuilt. We have a lot more properties on the market and a lot less buyers. We've been talking about that through all these videos, but I think that we're going to, over the next 2 years or a year and a half, we'll balance all that out, and we'll probably get back to, as we have done historically multiple times just since I've been in this business, a balanced market, and then we'll kind of see where it goes. A lot of that timeline is going to depend on things like rates, but realistically, I think that we're in a position where we're kind of back to a flatlined market price-wise. We're not seeing a lot of up and down. We're kind of like moving along. So I feel like it'll be a pretty balanced, measured. Sorry, balance means something different in real estate. So a measured improvement, and we'll get back to normal by next year. By next spring, I think we're going to be back to pre-COVID normal. How about that?
Do you believe that would include it switching to a seller's market?
Yeah, ultimately, again, Florida is always ultimately going to be a seller's market, because, or at least South Florida, because it's South Florida. I mean, until South Florida becomes undesirable to the majority of people in the United States, then it's always going to be a seller's market eventually again, right? Again, the last 10 years have been, almost 20 years now, been pretty tumultuous, because we've had some, large inflections, and it's not just Florida, it's been the nation, right? But we tend to lead in and lead out of these kind of things. So when we had the free money, boom and bust, we were one of the first places ever to game, because they're like, oh, we can buy stuff in Florida. We couldn't, boom, they all buy. And then the bust, same thing. Then we came back. Then we were doing pretty good. We were on a nice, for, I want to say like 5, 6, maybe even 8 years. I think it was about 8 years. 8 years that we were like, oh, we're good. We're just cool. And it was, and then all of a sudden COVID hit, and wow, there we went again, right? It became and now we're back to kind of here, and I feel like we're going to slowly start, so. I think that we're still looking at probably a good year before it becomes a seller's market again. Could be a couple different things that affect that. Rates, when they come down, if they stay stable, things like that. But that's my crystal ball from a broken crystal ball.